and I can't remember what I said, but I'm sure I probably just passed out and cried. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my very first storytime video. Now, obviously we've all seen these all over the internet and I've constantly seen them thinking, how do people have such crazy things happening to them? How do they constantly have new stories? I swear nothing crazy or exciting has happened in my life that would be worth talking about in a video. But the other day, this just sprung into my mind and it's not crazy, it's not, well, I'm gonna put crazy in the title, I think, because for me it was crazy. It's not too wild, it's not weird, it's not super funny or anything, but I just think it's extremely cute and it was a really special experience for me and probably one of the best days of my life, which might sound over the top, but if you know me, then you'll know why, and I'll kind of explain a little bit why. But basically, yeah, that's what I'm going to be telling a story about. And before I get into it, just a bit of context for this story. I come from a not super well off family, so expensive, fancy things are things I could only ever dream of. They're things that I will have to work my absolute butt off if I ever want to achieve, like cars, big houses, all that stuff. I've also grown up with a really big family, so, and lots of like brothers, sisters, so I like video games, cars, things like that. So I've always had particular dream cars, which are kind of boring. It's just like a Lamborghini, a Ferrari. A Lamborghini is my ultimate favorite. To some people that's kind of boring, but to me they're just like the top of the line and they've just always been my dream car, a Lamborghini Murcielago to be exact, but to be honest now I think I prefer the Gallardo. So with that aside, I will just jump straight into the story. So this story starts when I was just 17, probably about 5 months off being 18, and it was the middle of summer. And I had just finished up a shift at Target and it was 2 o'clock, I think, and I'd been talking to Jake for a couple of days beforehand. We'd been planning to possibly meet up after work. We hadn't planned what we were doing at all. I had no idea. I was basically just going to finish work. I think I either had a change of clothes or I just quickly bought something and put it on. So I was in the changing rooms as I was messaging him and he said, hey, I'm down at the beach. I'm just on the jet ski. To me, I was like, oh my god, a jet ski. I've never been on one of those. That sounds terrifying. If you know me, you would know I'm not a fan of deep water. Deep water terrifies me. I can't really swim. So to me, a jet ski just sounded really thrilling because it was like facing my fears, but also I know they're super fun. So I was just like, hell yeah, let's be wild. Let's go on a jet ski. So then he said, oh, I'm hungry. Would you be able to grab me something? And we'd literally only be talking for maybe a few weeks and you just know when something just feels right. So ordinarily I wouldn't just buy food for someone who I was just going on pretty much a first date with. But to me it was just like, yeah, sure, that's no problem. So I went down to Wendy's when there was a Wendy's there. It's gone now. And I bought him a hot dog and a drink, whatever. And I proceeded to walk down to the beach with this and then realized I have no idea what to look out for because it's the middle of summer and there are jet skis surprisingly everywhere. So by the time I got to the beach, I was thinking to myself, how am I going to find him? Because now he's in the water, he's not going to be checking his phone. He was obviously on the beach when he was sending those messages. So I stood on the beach for probably 5 or 10 minutes just staring at every single jet ski, and obviously he can't come in that close, so I was going to have to go out to him, but I had to spot him first before I walked out to a random jet ski. So I was literally just staring at everyone and I was so sure that the one I was looking at was him, but of course I didn't want to walk out to a random. So I don't even know how we ended up getting each other's attention. I think I just started waltzing into the water, hoping that if that was him, he would make his way towards me so we would know, or if it wasn't him, they would, you know, not acknowledge me and I'd be like, oh, okay, let's not walk towards that anymore. So of course I looked a bit stupid as well, just holding a Wendy's bag and a drink, just waltzing into the ocean, but all was well. It was him and I walked right up to him and it was just an amazing feeling. He's just honestly my favorite person in the whole world, so I just felt so comfortable with him instantly. We just popped the food and drink in the little compartment that the jet ski has, and I hopped on, and boy was that the ride of my life. And honestly, my day would have been set if it just ended there, because that is the most exciting thing I'd probably done in my whole life, and that was enough for me. So we rode the jet ski around probably 3 beaches around to where he originally was at, and it was insane. It was terrifying, but it was so fast and crazy and bumpy. I felt like I was going to fly off and die, but it was so amazing. If you haven't had a chance to go on a jet ski, I highly recommend it. I've still only done it that one time, but it was just an insane experience. And to be honest, Jake has made me do so many insane things that I never thought I'd do throughout our relationship, so that's probably one of the biggest things I'm grateful for from him. And yeah, so we arrived at the beach, had all our fun. I was so satisfied by that. That was just enough. There was a little beach tent set up, so we went in there, he ate his food. It was a bit sandy, to be honest, but he didn't care because he's a boy and he just ate it. And then we just kind of lay under there for what feels like hours, honestly, and just enjoyed being together in the sun, the amazing weather. Then he went out on the jet ski a couple more times. I was honestly too scared to do it again, although I really wanted to. I think I did it once more, but mainly I wanted to let him go out because he could go a lot faster without me on the back. So I kind of just watched him, and let me tell you, watching an attractive man on a jet ski in the water is quite a nice sight, so I wasn't disappointed by that. So that is how we spent most of the afternoon, and then the real kicker comes. So Jake's dad and Jake used to work for a company that do supercar sort of drives. So you pay a bit of money and then they drive you around in a supercar, or if you're over 30, you're allowed to drive the car yourself. So that's a pretty cool business. And when I found out about that, I was like, I love all those cars that they own, and his dad literally just gets to drive them as a job on the weekend, which is insane. And Jake gets to work with them, clean them, just, you know, just be with them. So that was pretty exciting. The cars often had sleepovers at his house as well, so they just got to be in the garage. And to me, I just couldn't even fathom anything like that. So he said to me, oh, Dad's just up above the beach at a restaurant near us. Do you want to walk up there? Because they've just stopped the supercars. It was either they've just finished a drive, or they were just about to begin one. So he's like, oh yeah, the Lambo and the Ferrari are just up there. And I was like, what? So we walked up there after just already experiencing, I'm literally getting like shaky just thinking about it because it was so insane. If you don't like cars or anything like that at all, this is probably so boring to you, but for me, this is like... So we walked up to this restaurant, and just seeing the Lamborghini, I honestly could have cried. It was so beautiful. So I just went up to it. I stood next to it. I touched it. It was amazing. If I can find the photo of me next to it, I will hopefully insert it here. But it was just amazing. And then I got to sit in it, and literally just sitting in that car was a dream come true for me, and only just confirmed that I definitely wanted to purchase one of those when I could afford it. So that was honestly amazing. The one downside, which honestly wasn't a big deal because I got to see the Lamborghini and sit in the Lamborghini, and that's my true dream car, so I was happy with that. But Jake was like, oh, you know, the Ferrari's not here, it's just back at home in the driveway, not being used, I don't know why. So I was like, oh, like that's a shame, but not really, and I'm in the Lamborghini, I don't really mind. But it turns out we were going back there later anyway, so I thought, I might see it if it's still there, which would just be the cherry on top. So yeah, we just kind of stood around the Lamborghini, talked with a couple of the guys for a bit. I just pretty much stared at it because it was beautiful. And then we got to watch it drive off. His dad was driving it, I'm pretty sure, so I was just so jealous. And it was just beautiful. It sounds beautiful. It looks beautiful when it's moving, when it's not moving, when it's... oh, it just always looks beautiful. I'm just dreaming about it. It was yellow, of course, so absolutely perfect, as it should be, although I really like them in orange. So that wrapped up that part. And again, I would have been happy if everything just stopped there. But no, more things happened. So we ended up making our way back to Jake's house later. I can't remember how or where or why or when, but we did, and we walk up the driveway and there is the Ferrari. So once again, if I can find the photo, I'll insert the photo of me sitting inside the Ferrari, because that was just, as I said, it would be the cherry on top. So I just got to, and no one else was home, so I just got to admire it without looking silly, not that I cared. Got to sit in it, take some photos with it, took a photo of Jake with it. We just pretty much admired it. He honestly thought it was funny because to him, these are just normal cars. He sees them almost every day, and to me, I was literally dying. So that was awesome. Then we just went and hung out by the pool and had a nice time. Wow, I think that's one of my first I'm so proud. So then later on, his dad arrived home and proceeded to come out and say to me, "Do you want to go for a drive in the Ferrari?" And I can't remember what I said, but I'm sure I probably just passed out and cried. So, of course, I said yes. I was not going to say no to that. Of course, like, I can't drive it. I was only 17. Jake couldn't drive it for me, so I had to just go with his dad, who I hadn't really met many times before. I think that may have been the first time. So I was worried it was going to be extremely awkward, but because we were in Ferrari, it didn't really matter. So he took me out just for a quick spin. There's this quite long, almost straight road around where we live, so he absolutely floored it down there, and I was literally screaming like a child, and it was the best experience ever. It only could have been better if it was the Lambo, but honestly, I got to sit in that, so I was already happy. So yeah, literally the cherry on top. I couldn't have imagined anything else happening that would have made that day any better. Just all of my wildest dreams come true, and just, it was such a great experience. When I got out of that car, I was just like, what is this day even real? And when my dad, I think it was my dad or my mum, when whoever picked me up and took me home and I told them everything that happened, I was just literally on cloud nine, and it was amazing. And let's just say Jake and I haven't done anything quite so wild as that first date all in one day, but we've had some awesome experiences, but nothing will ever top that for being a first date, and it was just such an unreal experience. It's still unreal to me. Just, I don't really know how to end this because I'm just so shook talking about it and thinking about it. All I can say is that I cannot wait to own my own Lamborghini Gallardo in yellow or orange, because it truly is my dream car. And just thank you, Jake, for giving me that experience. Or thank you to his dad as well for driving me around. It's just such a great day, and I was just like, how did I deserve this? What did I do to deserve this? And here we are almost 5 years later, still together, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds. And no, I'm not with Jake because there was nice cars or anything involved. That was honestly such a surprise to me that whole day, and I was just like, wow. And I haven't sat here every day from then just, you know, waiting for a supercar to appear. No, we just do normal things like normal people. We don't do everything that involves money. He's not rich, he's not loaded. We're just normal people. That was just an unreal, crazy, surreal experience and day. And yeah, that's the end of the story. How do I end something like that? Because it was just so good, and now I'm just like, So that is the end of the story. As I said, nothing too wild, weird, funny, I don't know, but to me, surreal, crazy, amazing, blessed, one of the best days of my life, with one of the best people I know. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you did, make sure to give me a massive thumbs up and subscribe down below if you are new. And no, unfortunately, I won't have any story times coming up because this is the only one I could think of, and it took me the whole length of my channel to finally think of this, which is like 2.5 years. So I don't think anything's coming anytime soon. But if you have a crazy or wild first date story, feel free to leave it in the comments because I'd love to hear it. And that just about wraps everything up. I hope you are having an absolutely amazing day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!